Hi there. My name is Gauri. I'm a doctor and a mom, and I'm coming to you with this video about how to survive a long haul flight with kids. I have two daughters, 12 and 8, and I have taken innumerable long haul flights across continents. And so the video is based on my personal experience and also the advice I have given to innumerable moms with questions. So, here I'm sharing 5 tips with you. I hope you find them useful. So, here we go. Tip number 1, packing electronics. Haha, I know this is the last thing I should be advising parents. But hear me out. But trust me that they will save your life at the end of the trip. You need to get some sleep and then come out in one piece on the other side of your journey. So, to do that, I would download their favorite movies, shows, or everything that they watch at home uh, because in advance, because internet on the flight, um, first of all, it is expensive, and even if you want to pay for it, most of the times it does not work on the sky. So yeah, I would pack all the devices that they watch on, whether they are their tablets or laptops or whatever. Make sure to pack some extra chargers, power banks, because the last thing you want is the device to die on you. Um, to listen to their things, I would use an over the ear headphones instead of your earplugs. Now the problem with earplugs and children is that they can be, if they have not used them before, they can be extremely uncomfortable, and you don't want that one reason for them to bug you throughout the flight. So over the head headphones. Plus these headphones sometimes are noise cancelling, and so with so many noises around them, they can sleep better. So I always make sure I carry over the headphones. Also, remember to carry a cord. Um, the reason I'm saying this is most of our headphones these days are Bluetooth or cordless. So I would not forget to pack a cord so that they can plug it in to their seats to watch all the movies that the flight has to offer. Number 2, clothes and toiletries. I would always pack an extra set of clothes, not just for the kids, but even for yourself, because there are always going to be spills and messes that you can never predict. So I don't want to be in a situation where my child does not sleep because they are wet or uncomfortable. Neck pillows. Neck pillows can sometimes be game changers. I mean, some neck pillows, and I'll link some good ones down below, um, can really help your child sleep comfortably. And never ever forget to pack a blanket. Especially if your child is very young, try and pack their favorite blankets. That is another thing that would help them because flights are always cold, and I always remember to have a pair of socks and blanket on my flight. Um, and here are some extra tips. So I always pack, like, there are some of these hacks that you might be doing for your child to put them to bed on an average day at home. So I would use those in the flight as well. For example, I apply Vicks, a little bit of Vicks vapor rub on my younger daughter who has difficulty sleeping sometimes, and just rubbing little bit of Vicks on her chest and her toes for some reason puts her to sleep. And so, like, yeah, small hacks like this, you never know, would help them sleep. And then another uh, option which is controversial. I mean, I would not recommend anyone. I would want you to talk to your pediatrician before doing it. But we carry some melatonin with us because melatonin is recommended as a drug for jet lag. And I mean, if it is impossible to put the kids to bed and it is a very long flight, like sometimes we take these 20-hour do these 20-hour journeys, and if the child doesn't sleep at all, it is a chaos. So sometimes we end up using melatonin for our kids. And then, of course, a stuffy or a doll that can comfort them to sleep. Now, regarding toiletries, In addition to your toothbrush, I would pack a toothbrush in my flight bag. Now, for example, so here is the toiletry bag. It's an interesting bag. I bought it on Amazon and I linked it down below. So this is the bag. There you go. Hope you can see it. So this is the bag that I would pack in my suitcase, but not take out on the flight because it is very big. But I would also have an extra little bag. I usually use this pouch. Again, this is another of my Amazon finds, and I will link them below, for all my flight essentials. So for the kids and ourselves also, I would carry toothbrushes and some face and body wipes. The reason being, um, children can be children are always sticky, and then and they can be very smelly with all the sweat and whatnot. And as a favor to your neighbors, I think it is a good idea to carry body wipes. So I usually carry large body wipes. I don't have any to show you, but like this is an example of it. Like this is just a simple cleansing wipe that I would use to wipe down my child's face and arms and whatever is needed. Um, in addition to that, I would also pack these. So this is an interesting find. This is a really interesting find that I found last time. These are toilets. These are disposable toilet seat covers. And it comes in a pack of 10. So these are basically, I don't know if they're plastic, but yeah, basically disposable covers that fit on any toilet seat. So if your child is not comfortable using a new toilet, or because the toilet is dirty, this can help them in the washroom. If the pandemic has taught us one thing, is that flights or aeroplanes and airports are the dirtiest places in the world. The reason being, there are so many people who travel from everywhere from the world, and I mean, they bring all kinds of bugs. So I would be very paranoid when it comes to aeroplanes and airports. So I never forget to pack like these antibacterial wipes, like these wet ones, for example, lots of them in my flight pouch, and also a hand sanitizer, of course. So I would wipe down their seats, their covers, the table, wherever they are going to touch. I would wipe it down thoroughly before even they sit on the seat, and not just in the flight but also on the airport. I would wipe it down thoroughly. And then in addition to that, for my girls, I carry some extra things for comfort. So for example, I have this sage essential oil, which has like a roll on, or you can carry any essential oil really. But then this is very handy because it has a roll on, and it smells like peppermint and eucalyptus. So it's very refreshing and somehow helps my children sleep. So I often carry these, and then some eye masks, and socks. And I also usually have either a grape or a rose water spray to freshen them up. Just some little things to help them go to bed. One last thing that everyone, in the rush of packing, we always tend to forget, and then you realize high up in the air that you really needed it, is moisturizer and chapstick. So the air high up in the sky is extremely dry, and even like my children are never dry down here on the earth, and they would complain of itchy skin or dry lips. I make videos every week on parenting, travel, skincare, and all that good stuff. So if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you get reminded every time I upload a video. And please hit the like button, so that really helps my channel. So having said that, let's move on to tip number 3, packing food. So before we move on to the individual item, please check with your airline what is allowed and what is not. So I have a funny story to tell you about this. Once we were traveling from Canada to the United States, and I was carrying some apples for my kids. And this security guard at the end stops me and says, I cannot carry apples. I mean, like, why on earth can you not carry apples? And their explanation was that there are some fruit flies because that can travel from one country to the other, and so you cannot carry apples. So like, who would have thought, so yeah, always check on your airline. There's usually a list of items that you can and cannot carry on the plane. For my kids are my younger one especially is very picky. So I would not rely on airline food. I will always have some snacks handy. So the common snacks that I pack would be like granola bars, popcorns, yogurt sticks, some muffins. PBJ is always a hit. I also carry some candy. I don't give my kids the candy right away, but I would use it as a reward if they behave well on the flight. Um, in addition to food, always remember to carry an empty water bottle. So I would carry something like this. I usually carry a very lightweight water bottle like this. The reason being, my children carry their own stuff, like their water bottle in their own backpacks. So packing a light bottle makes the light pack lighter, and it is much easier for them to carry on their backs. Another item that sometimes carry on the flight are these like collapsible cups, and these are all from Amazon and then different stores. I will definitely link all these items down below in the description. So this cup, like, it opens up. It's a silicone cup that opens up into like a fairly big size of cup. There's like this place to sip, and then there is this flexible straw. See, it's a bendy straw that fits in when you close it. So yeah, it is a fairly big size cup that you can. Then I would usually tell the air hostess, either the air hostess to fill the cup with juice or water, or I would fill it myself before I board the flight. Because the cups that they give on the flight, first of all, are very tiny, and there's not enough water or juice in them, and then there's a high risk of spills, so I prefer something enclosed. Now I love these lunch boxes. One sec. So like these bento boxes, I absolutely love them. My kid loves them. They are spill proof. Even if they fall on the ground, this rubber thingy protects them. And then when you open them, they are very well organized. Like, I can carry a bunch of stuff like sandwiches, and so each kid gets one bento box in their backpacks with their own healthy snacks and lunches. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then in addition, I would carry some lime packets, like electrolyte packets, which not only add flavor to the water, but in case of dehydration, they come in handy. Speaking of which, moving on to the next tip, which is packing medications. So in addition to those electrolyte sachets, I would also we all carry Advil, Tylenol, Gravol, right? I prefer carrying chewable tablets. Unless your child is very small, get them into a habit of eating those chewable tablets, because on the flight, when you travel, it comes very handy. There's less issue with spilling, and then carrying those big bottles can be a hassle. Another not so important but useful thing that I carry is a nasal spray. Or I also sometimes carry like this Vicks inhaler. I don't know. I don't know what it is with this, but my children, when they go high up in the sky, the air is very dry, and then they will inhale this and then put saline drops in their noses, and that keeps them comfortable. Like I told you, I would carry an essential oil. I already talked about this. Some cough drops, and then some prescription meds if your child is on. Tip number 5. And then I have some bonus tips. So, tip number 5 is packing toys and other items. Now, as important as medicines and clothing is, I think it is equally important to entertain them. So, in addition to all the electronics, I would carry something that keeps the children busy. Now, I have two daughters, so I even carry something as simple as this pipe cleaner, and then I would carry some beads. One trick of carrying tiny beads is I had got this from Sephora a long time ago for to pack my pills. Now, this is not enough for the pills, but this is a great idea to pack like tiny little, I think they open here, oops, here, and then there are some more pockets here. To pack like tiny little beads or things that they can put through this. And my daughters can spend hours, like they will fold these, twist these, make bracelets. So that's for girls, and then for boys, you can pack some Lego that they can play with. In addition, and then some puzzle boxes like these. This comes in a small box, so it is handy to carry, right? In addition, some activity books. So I would usually now this is a very big packet. I will probably not carry all of it, but these are like something interesting. Like these are glitter gel pens that they can use to like color some activity books like this. And more the complex, longer time they will spend doing it. So my girls would keep coloring on this with the glitter pens. And then I may not carry this whole thing because it is quite heavy, but I would like tear some pages out and take these construction papers so that they can make origami or even draw or color. I don't know what they do with it, but it keeps them busy. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sometimes instead of like actual crayons, I prefer carrying like these either these glitter pens or the pen crayons, because small crayons can get lost in the flight or under the seats, and yeah, you don't want that. So yeah, here are my 5 tips. Right, so moving on to some of the extra tips, so extra hacks, I would call them. So, which are, so always check in when you're traveling, especially when you're traveling with kids, always check in your luggage online. Nowadays, they'll send you an online email a day before or so. So, take full advantage of that. That way, you can avoid standing in the line, in the check-in line with your kids. You can just walk in, hand over your bag. One person can hand over the bags and walk in. Regarding layovers, always use the family. There are on most bigger airports that we have laid over. We have seen this family entertainment center. So these are a bunch of play areas where there are also like lounging chairs for you to sit. So take full advantage of that. I mean, this is where the child can play in that play area for hours, and you can like freshen up, have your coffee, or like relax, have some downtime. I always make sure that my children brush their teeth, and then these are very small things, but they help to keep them fresh and happy. So I would carry a change of clothes, and if possible, change clothes, and like so that they feel fresh. Always try and book slightly longer layovers, especially when you're traveling with kids, because sometimes the gates are very far, and then lugging the kids around, rushing them is always makes the trip stressful. So I would give enough time on the layovers. Regarding boarding the flight, always use the priority boarding. So when they call out anybody with kids, board, like go for it. You be the first one to board. It's much easier to help your children settle down in an empty flight rather than pushing them through people. And then at the end, when we land, we just wait for everyone to go out of the flight, and then take our time, getting out. And then this one last hack, which would take some extra, would make you pay a little bit extra. So it's totally up to you. But we prefer, especially on very long haul flights, we prefer those seats in the with extra leg room. That way, I mean, you have more space to put your luggage, and stretch your legs, and your journey is a bit more comfortable that way. So here you have them. Hope you find these tips helpful. And if you know any more hacks or tips, please mention them in the comment box, and I will get to learn something from them. So yeah, like I said, I make these parenting videos once a week, and I would love to see you all there again. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe and the like button, and see you next time. Bye.